Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination thrive. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair.
The tired and exhausted version of me is present. Welcome to a Midnight Express. Was not going to do a show tonight, but we had the final Fantastic Four trailer drop, and I never really covered the Thunderbolts one. The Thunderbolts is the final trailer, and the Fantastic Four is the full trailer. Still don't know if later on tomorrow, we're going to get a trailer for Superman. They say, James Gunn indicated that there would not be. I would not be completely surprised if he gave us a trailer as a surprise. Who knows? So we still haven't had a trailer yet. I know people get confused and they call teasers trailers when teasers are not trailers, they're teasers. And clips of the clips here and there don't really do much as far as premise goes. So we still haven't had a full trailer. So maybe tomorrow we'll get one. More footage doesn't really help me as far as the premise goes. Unless it's just a basic Lex Luthor versus Superman. But I have a feeling there's more to it than that. So hopefully we get one tomorrow. If not, like I said, my most anticipated film of the year is Fantastic Four. If we get a Superman trailer tomorrow, great. If Superman is spectacular in July, great. As long as Fantastic Four is, my summer is set. My summer is where it needs to be. All my anticipated movies, because I had other movies ahead of all that before. I mean, one of them I'm going to go see tomorrow, which is Sinners. That was higher up on the list, and then Fantastic Four is number one. Thunderbolts is actually up on the list, and then that gets released May 2nd. So we're going to I'll say hi to everybody, and then we're going to go hit the trailers real quick. And then it's going to be a short one because I got an early day tomorrow. The reason why I hadn't been on yesterday, the day before, I think it was, is because we had our wrestling event down at the center. And I just got back from TNA Unbreakable, which was a great event. And then tomorrow there's WrestleCon, and then we're going to be doing our Wrestlemania watch party. So it's been a back and forth. A lot of this requires me getting up early, which is something I just don't do, but I have to do because of these events. And then the late nights, like I said, I'm just now getting home from TNA, and then the night before our event ended at 10, but clean up, breakdown, and all that kind of stuff. I didn't get out till midnight. So I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the stuff that first I'm going to show you some of the let me bring up some of the, here we go. Hold on. I'm going to bring you some of the not posters, but pictures from our wrestling event. Let's see here. Oh, I have a ton of pictures but I haven't uploaded a lot of the stuff yet. So here we go. I'm going to show you this. Basically, them setting up the ring. This is before the show actually gets started. This is the crew from BFW, Big Valley Wrestling, or BVW, Big Valley Wrestling, and that's them setting up the ring. Hopefully, you guys can see that. There you go. That's the setup before the show. That's their logo. What else did we do? That's them. That's their trailer. This is what independent wrestling is. They roll up in a trailer and they set it up, and then that's them getting everything out. The wrestlers are actually the breakup and breakdown crew. Then earlier today, I went to a breakfast for Chris Bray for donations and stuff for his recovery, and there's Joe Henry. Once again, that's comic stuff, and that's Matt Hardy brothers. They entered the room. And I actually got to ask him a question, and I know if you guys follow me on any of our social media, you saw me post that, and then I got to sit at the little interview desk after everything was over, having it up, complex. And then this is tonight. This was TNA right as I got to the Cox Pavilion. First time I'd ever been to an event there. So there's that. That's just a quick, That's where my seats were. I was 2 rows away from. There's a UNLV hockey team that was there being celebrated. There's my obligatory selfie right as everything was getting filled up. There's some of the set pictures. I got more, but like I said, I just haven't had a chance to upload everything. And this is midway through some of the matches where I went and got something to drink, and I thought it was pretty cool. It was a packed house for the most part. This is just me walking to my seat, just giving you a view of the arena or the pavilion where we were at. It's kind of fun. And this is just basically a picture of our surroundings, everything that was there. So then there was Joe Henry.
I believe in Joe Hendry. London and Paris and Tokyo.
Yeah, that's probably enough to get us taken down or bratted. And then that's all right. So that was sort of what my day was like. Way more pictures than that, but like I said, I haven't had time to upload them. All right, gonna say hi to everybody. Then we'll watch these trailers. I see people upset that to use Charlie Ball, Silver Surfer instead of Norrin Rad, but we know Norrin Rad is being savory. Yeah, this is the hold on, let me get this so it doesn't fall while I'm doing the show. The worst part about comic book movies are some of the comic book movie fans. Not all of you, obviously we interact and we have sane conversations, but people get stupid over really stupid stuff. They're not, let me go ahead and bring Brad in since he liked to show up one time. I'm just fucking with you.
You play the trailer yet?
No, I have not. I'm just introducing and saying hi to everybody. Mm-hmm. Some of the two things that today that really just kind of annoyed me, or you're not really giving the storyteller a chance to tell their story about what universe this is, what reality this is. They got that fixed story in their head that they want to be fleshed out. It's not their story. I mean, you're along for the ride. So eventually I think we will get Norrin Rad, but that's not where we are at. Let Matt Shakeman do what he's doing. The other thing, and we'll watch it. Listen, guys, this isn't the place. I don't give a fuck about CGI professors. All right. If you guys want to stare at the screen until your eyes become pixelated, that's up to you. And I can respect that. That's fine. When I'm sharing stuff and tagging stuff, I don't want to hear about it. It's good enough for me. It's because I come from a practical effects background and I'm just happy to have anything. I don't know, but I couldn't care less about some of the issues that were brought up today if I tried, and I don't. I heard weird stuff about, oh, what's wrong with the Silver Surfer? She looks like so and so. I'm like, I recognize her as a Silver Surfer from Earth X immediately. Oh, Mr. Fantastic CGI looks like, okay, CGI scholars, if that's what you want to do, if you want to sit and siphon the fun out of that trailer, you go ahead. This isn't the place for it. I'm not going to entertain questions about it because I don't care. And you know the rules of the show. If I don't care, I'm not going to give you the kind of answer that you're expecting from somewhere else. I'm not going to do a stream on CGI. If someone else wants to, that's fine. But minutes after I saw that trailer, that's all I was hearing about. So I do I need to mute CGI? Because that's what's next. Because I don't care.
Yeah, when we do the Black Panther watch party eventually, it's like, I know William's going to probably point that out, where it's like it's got really crummy CGI, like particularly in the finale. Yeah. It's like it doesn't diminish his or my enjoyment of it. So.
No, and I don't even care though, because people are like, well, they're making, it'll be better when it comes. Listen, what I saw today was fine. I loved seeing her rise up out of those flames. That was cool for me. Seeing Fantastic Four, seeing Mr. Fantastic stretch, it was fine for me. But like I said, if you're one of the CGI professors, I'm not knocking you. That is your whatever. But on this particular space, on my space, I don't care that much. It's gonna have to be so horrific that that it jams up the flow of the.
Yeah, it has to be like trying to remove a mustache digitally.
That I don't even care about. I listen. Every time somebody brought up the CGI thing, I usually stopped listening to their channel, or I moved on to something else. I got so fucking sick of hearing about that CGI. I wanted to punch people. Just but when it, for me, my requirements are not the same as everybody else's. I guess as long as I can recognize what's attempting to be achieved, and I can recognize what is being done, I'm okay with it.
Well, I think too. Also, it's like I think probably, especially when it comes to like CBMs or like anything fantastical or sci-fi oriented, certainly superhero oriented. Like for me, I've always kind of looked at it. I've always kind of looked at CGI. Now, if you can present, a CGI character or what have you, or a CGI environment as being like convincingly realistic, I mean that's always a plus. But for me, I've always kind of it's sort of like Steven Spielberg, like he kind of famously prioritizes believability over realism. For me, I that's kind of, I have a similar sort of philosophy with CGI. Is like I kind of prioritize like almost like stylization over like realism. Like especially when it comes to like comic movies, it's like I kind of prioritize the comic booky stylized look almost more so than I do the whether or not this looks like a real person sitting in front of me. But yeah, that's just me.
Yeah, I care about the flow of the movie, and is what is being presented recognizable, and is the mission accomplished. Is fantastic? Is Mr. Fantastic stretching, looking like? To me, check the box was checked. Her, and then I saw somebody. I keep seeing these re-renderings and stuff like that, and I'm like, I opened up Earth X today. And I looked at Earth X, and I looked at what they did there. They were going for the Earth X presentation of her, and that's not that's not what some of these renderings are looking like. But that's fine. You guys are having fun with that. But I'm literally, I literally almost, I think I may have put CGI in the little mute thing for Twitter, because I was just tired of hearing it from it. I can respect your opinion, but I'm trying to have fun watching this trailer for this movie that I've been waiting so long for. And I was so excited to see that trailer. I just didn't feel like having anything fuck up my good time. So we're done with that. And as far as people say it's sexist, no, listen, the volleyball that you're seeing is, if you read Earth X, we're going to cover Earth X this Saturday, by the way. Saturday is going to be a long fucking day of me going in and out of streaming, because we're doing Wrestlemania and we're doing our normal show. One of the things we're covering today is Earth X, because apparently a lot of people don't know that it exists, and it's very important for some of these guys that are the comic accurate, I got to meet you. The comic accurate people. If you're saying comic accurate, Earth X is a comic, and it is the chosen version of that character that they've gone with. So we're going to cover that just to fill in the blanks here. Hello, Duckman. How are you doing? Music Man, what's going on? Taladia, what's going on? Taladia, I will need you on Saturday. I will need all my wrestling geeks hosting with me on Saturday. So if you're available, might be a dumb question. How come Reed Richards doesn't have a white collar on his costume like the rest? Don't know, because if you look at several versions of Fantastic Four, there are several versions where 3 of the 4 will have one type of costume, or 2 of the 4 will have certain one kind, and Reed will be wearing something different. So that there's a precedent for that. But no, it's not a dumb question at all. It's just whoever is doing the design and who's doing the drawing. There's been sometimes where Reed was wearing something not even recognizable as Fantastic Four, while everybody else was wearing the standard. So it's just depending on who's is the style. Sometimes they do uniform, sometimes they don't, but it's generally recognizable as the blue and the white and the 4. It was great. It was great. It was long though. I got my money's worth, but I am like I said, I've been up early this morning. And for those of you who know me that have been part of my daily routine, the AM is part of it on the other end, like the 12 a.m. and the 4 a.m. And then that's where my day ends. It generally doesn't end or begin as early, but it's WrestleMania weekend, and there's certain things I got to do. Tomorrow I'm going to WrestleCon. That's the belt. I'm going to have like 50 pounds worth of wrestling belts going to get signed tomorrow. Then I'm going to try to go from there to see Sinners, and then I'm going to try to get to the store and then spend a great deal of time at the store because I got a lot of stuff to get done. So I'm kind of exhausted. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Some really good matches. I'll probably go into detail on a later stream when I upload everything, because I took a lot of video, and I drew down my battery, that's how many pictures I took in video too. Plus, I was at the earlier event that TNA held for Chris Bay with the Hardys, the breakfast for Chris Bay. So I was there covering that as well, and that's where you see me. I got to sit behind the interview thing, which was kind of cool. So I was covering that. Tomorrow I will be covering WrestleCon, and that will be part of the Saturday show. We will upload some stuff from WrestleCon. Hopefully, I don't think, because it's chaotic, I'm going to try to get some interviews, but I don't know how that's going to go. We're going to take it as it comes. So the wrestling event was good. Brad's still on his ancient Flintstone computers. That's why I muted him.
Well, yeah, I wanted to clarify a bit too. It's like the timing everything on Saturday, so we're not doing the normal watch party.
Nah, this is WrestleMania weekend. We're going to be covering.
What time is that all going to be starting at?
I'm going to be starting WrestleMania probably the pre-show at 3, and then I'm going to be going until WrestleMania wraps up, which should be if it's a standard WWE show. If you're an AEW show, we might be there till midnight. But since it's a WWE show, we're going to probably go from 3 to 8, and then right after that, I'm going to have a 30-minute break to break up the show, and then we will start our Saturday Overnight Live, because we have a lot to cover. As tired and I will be, we have a lot to cover. We're going to go into deeper depth in these trailers. Plus, we're going to go through a lot of we're going to cover Earth X, give some people context of where they're going with this. And there's a couple other things I want to cover. Obviously, we're going to be covering WrestleMania, reviewing WrestleMania, and then some of the other events, hopefully some interviews and things I have from WrestleCon. So there's no way I can't do an overnight live Saturday show, because there's just too much to cover. So, all right. So yeah, let's see. Wow. That TNA show was great. It was on TV, by the way. By the way, I like I said, I was able to get on TV today, and let's show people that. By the way, this is once we do the trailers, we'll get rolling. But like I said, I'm gonna show people. Let's see. I think I posted it to my profile. Let's see. Oh man, there's too much stuff. Too much wrestling. I don't know if there's such thing as too much wrestling, but there is. All right. Let's see. Here it goes. All right. Here's my celebrity moment. After this, you everyone here, including Bad, you're just little people to me. I want to be referred to as Mr. Powell from this point on. Because this is my.
We will also accept Mr. Stinky.
You will refer to me as Mr. Powell, or I will not answer you.
Can you call you Private Pal?
No, my private days are over. I've been a private for 20 years. All right, here we go.
8x10s, and we were the champs in WWE in '99, right? He would get those 8x10s, and he would have me and Jeff sign like 100 of them, and he would just drive around. He goes,
It's coming up.
Hey, young lady, you want one of these? He said, "I'm the Hardy Boys, Daddy." You know, and that became his MO, and he was so proud of it. He was the best.
Oh man, that's incredible.
Hi, I'm William from right here in Las Vegas.
That's
I'm
me.
in the same age group as you guys, so your career straddles pre-internet to where we are now. What is the best thing you think is brought to the industry, and is there anything you would roll back to make it better?
You want that one?
I still don't understand it. I'm trying to, but especially social media, man. I always think back to.
All right, you can watch their answers later. The important thing was me.
Yeah. So, if it not, are you basically like if it weren't for like the connotations of this particular individual at this point, like we could fully right now like pull out like the Vince McMahon like strutting into the arenas, gif right now. Other than again, Vince McMahon.
We're probably going to get bratted for me showing that today, and we're going to get bratted for the. By the way, bratted is when we get demonetized or taken off the air outright for something silly.
Well, no,
usually it's Brad doing it, but tonight it's going to be me.
Tonight's Williams because he did it from like an actual event where he's like talking to pro wrestlers and like he's now a celebrity. So
yeah, Brad haphazardly does it. I do it. I know we're going to get demonetized because they're going to show 2 trailers that are going to just take
this is cool.
It's no big deal.
This is cool though. This isn't like cell phone footage or what have you. So
no, this is actually on the TNA website. So I was actually one of what it is, you donated it when you bought your ticket and you had like a little breakfast Q&A, and they brought in the president of TNA. They brought in these guys. They brought in Joe Henry. The Rascals were there. There was some other people that were off camera that we got to meet. We got a little poster and everything. They gave us donuts and coffee and stuff like that, but nobody was really caring about that. The Hardys, for those of you who don't know or understand wrestling, the Hardys are like the Jordan of tag team wrestling. They're up there. They're any Mount Rushmore of tag team wrestling. It's got to include the Hardys. The Hardys were one of the back when WWE was really good, not what it is today when it was actually really good. They were the best part of the Attitude Era. What they did with Edge and Christian, they revolutionized tag team wrestling. They literally revolutionized the ladder matches. They put ladder, in my opinion, put ladder matches on them. And I know HBK and a lot of other people had great matches. I think that these 2 individuals right here put ladder matches on the map. They are legends. So I to be in the room with those, that level of legend, was good. And they were having a lot of fun, and they answered everybody's questions. So it was cool to be there. And then, like I said, Joe Hendry's really hot right now. He was there tonight at the event. But yeah, that's how my morning started. Like I said, I don't get up early for just about anything. It was very worth it to get up and be part of that. And like I said, what I'm about to be part of tomorrow is going to be really cool because I've waited a long time to meet the Great Muta. I grew up watching the Great Muta. Diehards don't know who that is. If you ever watch anybody spit mist out of their mouth, it's because they saw the Great Muta do it. And then obviously Slick Rick in the big gold belt. So it's going to be, and then Joe Hendry's going to get that other belt. So I'm going to be there early in the morning, like 8ish, 9ish in the morning, which is sacrilegious for me. So we're going to get through this show, and then we're going to go from there. All right, let's see. Everything is indicating that they're not.
Yeah, it's it's not going to happen tomorrow.
I wouldn't be surprised if he just did it. There's nothing stopping them from doing it. So.
Yeah, he hasn't said outright. It's like it's definitely not coming tomorrow. Of course, we're talking about the Superman trailer, tomorrow being Superman Day. So he's kind of downplayed like the rumor, speculation, whatever you want to call it, that's what's going to drop. But I mean, yeah, he could like I could see James Gunn doing anything. I was like, nah, just kidding. I said, fuck it, let's just drop it now.
It depends on where you're looking. I've looked at my usual places is doing fine. If you're judging it from Twitter, well, Twitter's a cesspool.
Well, the only like quote unquote bad reaction I've seen to it so far really has been focused on Silver Surfer and really just like specific shots of the Silver Surfer, which I'm not gonna lie. I did hold off on doing this, but I thought about getting in on the fun a little bit. Where like there's that one shot of her like with like the Inferno behind her or whatever,
which was the one I reposted. I love that shit.
I thought about it's like, and I'm not saying I agree with like the idea of it being bad CGI. I just thought I'd get I thought about having a little bit of cheeky fun and saying it's like, oh, this is like a Silver Globe now, but I didn't want to be like misinterpreted as like dog piling on it, so I decided to sit that one out.
Yeah, and then some people are just joining the conversation for affiliation. Some people had a legitimate opinion, and that's fine. I'm not saying that your opinion about the CGI isn't legitimate. I just don't care. I don't want it on my feeds. I don't want to hear about it. That is your opinion, and I can respect that you have it. But I had so much fun watching that trailer today. I'm going to leave it at my fun. I am seeing Sinners hopefully tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, likewise. I'm going to go try to see it tomorrow night.
Yeah, but I've had my luck sometimes. I don't care if I get taken down.
I just have. Oh, I thought you were talking about the movie instantly.
No, we're talking about
because I was going to say it's like it's just more and more seldom for me to like go get out and see anything on Thursday nights like I used to these days. I mean, usually it's got to be Friday or Saturday now, or even Sunday.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday. The only reason I'm probably going to do it tomorrow is because I'm already going to be out of the store for WrestleCon, so I'll just pretty much add to the damage. I haven't seen too many comic book movies in my life that haven't been predictable. It's Fantastic Four. There is a blueprint there that's been around 60 years. They've decided not to swerve from that blueprint. They're literally taking two stories, which is the coming of Galactus and Earth X, and making them, recognizable, which is fine for me. Very few comic book movies are especially if you've seen enough of them. So I think it'll be fine. Listen, guys, when it comes to numbers on who's watching trailers, I don't give two shits about that. I don't care if it's a lot or I don't care if it's 10, as long as one of them was me. Because trailer watches in 2025 aren't like they were in 2015, 16, 17, or whatever like that, because of the fact that the movie-going experience is changed. It's not the same. Not everybody who watches a trailer watches it because they care about the movie or watches it because they're going to a movie, and vice versa. There are a lot of people who are love these movies that just won't be able to afford to go, and they'll watch it on. The numbers on the trailers, good or bad, up, over or under, I just don't. That's one of those things I just like look past. And I don't know what trailer you were watching, Antonio, with all due respect. I maybe because I'm looking forward to it, and I guess that's going to be the point of view of each of the people. I don't know what you guys were watching if you didn't get, if you didn't feel, great about that trailer, but it's an opinion. Yeah, it's an Earth X version, and possibly from an Earth in a reality that's gonna be devoured or destroyed. All right, let's see. I don't give a listen. No, you don't. You can if you want to, Antonio. I don't. Zach, this is not Zack Snyder's Justice League. That trailer today was for Fantastic Four. As far as I know, Zack Snyder's not doing the Fantastic Four. It has nothing to do with the Fantastic Four. And I'm going to be equal here. I didn't give a shit when they fucked with Zack Snyder's CGI. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. If you are, have at it. I am not that guy. So these same folks, I feel the same way about them then as I do now. I feel the same way about, like I said, it's got to be Crayola bad for me to care. If it breaks up the flow of the movie and it really, it like I can't look at it type of thing. I had people bitching and moaning about the Flash, and some people had to point it out to me. I'm just not that guy who cares about the CGI.
Well, and actually, to kind of play devil's advocate on that, it's like what are some examples of CGI that was like so bad that it just took you out of it? If you can think of anything off the top of your head.
I can't think of a movie, to be honest with you, that did.
I mean, I'm sure they're out there, but it's like you need to ponder it for a while.
I don't give a fuck. That's the thing. That's my cure for this. I don't fucking care. Like I said, unless it's bad. I have more of a problem with bad 3D than I ever had with bad CGI.
Yeah, that was.
So if you care, keep caring. I don't care. And if somebody said the trailer was ass, you know what? It's an opinion. I thought it was cool.
Here's a good one. On bad CGI is the Spawn movie. That legit has some pretty awful CGI in it.
Yeah, but you're also talking about back when CGI wasn't even a thing.
That is true.
You look at what they were doing in the mid 90s. That's actually revolutionary. I'm passing on 28 years later. Let's see. We don't do time travel though. I mean, I can't tie current enjoyment to past whatever. I'll never be able to have fun again. I will never be able to have fun again. All right, let's see.
How's it going, Aaron? She also says now tag team wrestling has the Bucks.
Yeah, and they're getting up there, and they're legends. They listen. All these guys were watching the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, and then Edge and Christian, and then the Hardys, and then they came into it. And they were talking about that today. By the way, they were talking about that today about how each generation is still mentoring. Like they're like the Hardys, Matt's 50 and Jeff is 47, and they're still wrestling and at a high level, and they're still mentioning they're still mentoring people. So Larry is $20 super chat. Hey, Will Brad friends, I went to early screening of the Count 2 on tax day. It was a total blast. Affleck and Barenthal killed it. Looked like I got to meet you. Affleck and Barenthal killed it, and it looked like they were having a great time together. Hope they reunite for Dead Punisher. I hope to see the Punisher Barenthal again, but I hope I never see Ben Affleck.
Well, in Secret Wars, you might see his Daredevil.
As long as that's the last time I see it and it gets killed.
I'm looking forward to Count 2. I haven't seen.
Thank you for the $20 super chat.
I haven't seen the first one in quite a while. Yeah, I did see about the that was actually very clever marketing, like the early tax day, kind of showings. I wanted to go. I just wasn't able to make that one, but I'm looking forward to seeing it definitely. The first one, I need to revisit the first one really before the new one comes out. But I am looking forward to this. I look forward to it.
All right, Antonio, really quick though. I understand what you're saying. This we isn't the Sci-Fi Center Presents. I understand a lot of people are doing it, and they did it for Superman, but this ain't the place. It's falling on deaf ears. I will respect your opinions about it, but that's not me. Like I said, maybe it's because I come from John Carpenter's The Thing and the Stan Winston School of Arts and things like that. So a guy like me grew up being like, wow, we've gone from fucking the torches in the caves to electricity. So I'm looking at it. Maybe I'm just not complaining about the electricity because I know when I was growing up, we didn't have it. Maybe it's because of that. Maybe it's because for me, it doesn't disrupt the flow of the movie or make things unrecognizable. There's not. The whole thing is to make it blend into what's going on. And to me, I'm paying attention to the characters and the pace. So I am not saying that you are a people are stooges if they care about this stuff. I'm just letting you guys know as your host, I don't care. I didn't care about it when it was Superman. I don't care about it about it for Silver Surfer. I'm probably not going to care about it for any movie you bring up unless it's so awful. It's like that fucking shark stopping in the middle of the theater when I paid for 3D. If it ever gets that bad, yes, you will hear from me.
Oh,
I don't think there's an issue here for me.
I thought of another one actually. You talked about was the CGI in Alien 3, more of like climbing on the walls and
because that was done. No. See, that wasn't the bad part. It was when the alien's being born, and they used some kind of stop motion. It wasn't even good. I don't even think it was CGI. It was something that they and in all fairness, that was an awful movie from every level, but it was also 1992. So I think my overall hatred for that movie probably clouds my opinion. But that's one of the scenes I noticed. But here's the thing. That's not what ruined Alien 3 for me.
Yeah, that's got to be the first time I've heard anybody say, in all fairness, it was all bad.
Yeah, that's not what ruined Alien 3 for me. Alien 3 is a bad movie, and I love David Fincher. That's what kills me about it. He's one dude. That guy's a fucking genius. That movie was his first movie. It wasn't. Black Panther. I love and adore Black Panther. One of my favorite comic movies of all time. Like I said, if you guys want to do the CGI professor, there are scenes in Black Panther. That is an Academy Award nominated film.
Best Picture nominee.
Best Picture nominated film. And it had some Bob the Builder shit in there that, people are like, hey. So, all right, got another super chat. Rational, hold on. I'm having a hard time bringing this up. Here we go, Rational. Ballerina, How to Train Your Dragon, F1, 28 years later, Jurassic World, Naked Gun. I Know What You Did Last Summer, Superman, F4 release a week after. Who will cannibalize? Who will cannibalize who?
Yeah, which of these is gonna? Because I think he's saying that the idea is that these are gonna like just overlap too much and like take away his business. But I mean, that's pretty commonplace these days. Over in the summer, it's like have like one blockbuster every week now.
All right, so Ballerina's not cannibalizing anybody because that's a specific genre. Everybody's going to the movies, going to that. The ballerina crowd and how to kill your dragon or How to Train Your Dragon crowd, not worried about that. F1 and 28 years later, I don't know what kind of demographic that is. I think F1 is a blockbuster no matter what. I think 28 years later is a blockbuster no matter what. Jurassic World will not be touched by any of these movies. I can't tell you what Naked Gun will do one way or another because, like I said, it's the only comedy on here. It depends on if the demographics. See, that's the thing. In order for something to siphon something off, the demographics usually have to overlap. But I'll tell you why that might not even be in a second. I Know What You Did Last Summer, Superman. Some of these movies will help each other, though. Like I've been saying since I got the dates for those things, Superman and F4, I think F4 is going to help Superman, and I think How to Train Your Dragon and Jurassic World will help Superman because it's the summertime. So you have more time to go to the movies more frequently. That's why they do this. So I don't think you have as much cannibalization during the summertime when you have more opportunity to go see, provided you have the finances. Now, what could cannibalize these movies is finances. So in that respect, it'll be the big blockbusters that people with the family stuff, like How to Train Your Dragon, those are ones like that. Those will be the ones that cannibalize everything because they're ones that you can take the family to. And then the other ones that you sit at home and watch or rewatch with the family will be on PVOD. So there's a lot of things that can cannibalize it, but I don't think just the release dates will be it necessarily. I think that in some cases, that it will help the other movies. So thank you for the $10 support there, Rational Skeptic. All right, let's see. Yeah, I'm not gonna do what I did to myself in Comic-Con though. That damn near that 14 shots. That's the point of no return. That's like when the Enterprise reached the end of the center of the universe. Yeah, that's we probably don't want to fuck around. AJ from the Y-Files. All right. Nah, Vanessa Kirby looks young. I mean, I thought she looked young. I mean, Sue is in her early 30s. I mean, Vanessa Kirby is in her early to mid 30s. So I thought she. Let's see. I could do a couple of these. I don't see her in a lot of stuff that you guys have seen her in. Maybe I thought she looked.
I think what have I seen her in? The first thing offhand I can remember is a Hobbs and Shaw. And let me look up real quick. Pull up her page. Let's see.
That's right. That's right, people. I'm famous now. I'm famous now. I'll be signing autograph. I'll be at WrestleCon. You want my autograph? It's free.
Sign a private pal.
No, I don't. Where did private pal come from?
Well,
that's kind of it. If you understand my rank because your dad was an NCO,
Okay.
calling you a private to get you put on your head, son.
Yeah. How because that was what you left as, right? As a sergeant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, it's like that would, because my dad retired as a master sergeant, so he was E8. I think it would put you like E6 or E7.
No, it's 5. I decided to get out before I got my. I was on my way to get to go on track to E6 and E7. They had me scheduled for the schools, A-Knock and B-Knock and all those schools. Same with your dad. I decided I just wanted to. That's when my contract was up, and things were ramping up to the point where everything was going well with the center. And I didn't want to give up any more weekends. And at that time I had been active duty. When I came back from deployment, I was active duty for 2 years, and it drained it. It was a cool experience, but it fucking killed my story. Let's see.
Yeah.
How you doing, Sarna?
Because I remember actually Googling before Brad's William and I started streaming together regularly. It's like I just kind of Googled this William Powell side of the I remember coming across there was one you were actually interviewed for this one magazine in Vegas where it talked about like when you were deployed, you had like a week or so to find somebody to cover everything for you.
Yeah, ambassadors wanted they only gave me 48 hours.
Oh, really?
They gave me 48 hours. I'm like, okay, this isn't happening in 48 hours. I need a week. The unit was already up and they were leaving Mirror Island in Northern California, so they headed to Fort Lewis without me because they wanted me on a plane. They had a ticket. They had people ready to come get me, put me on a plane, and I was supposed to be because they had lost so many people doing people not showing up once they got to deployment paperwork. I'm like, I'm not going to be one of those people. You guys pulled some shady shit. I was out of the Army. And they stop-lossed me. They retroactively stop-lossed me, and they got me. Good decision. I'm glad I went. But yeah, I needed more. I got a business to shut down. I have a full-time job. I have a business. I have an employee, but that employee has to go ahead and now become my full-time person. She's got to change her life. So yeah, 7 days is a lot, but we got it done in 7 days. But
that was like 2 years before they got the status quo for 2 years with it.
What's up? That was a 15-month. That was a 12-month deployment. Okay. And then when I came back, I helped set up a battalion, and that was a full-time job I did from 2 years. And then, like I said, I turned around and looked at my store, and in 7 years, I had been away for half of the time. And you can't do it. It's tough. So, Fantastic Four trailer, don't look too bad, especially if you know it's Silver Surfer's wife. I'm still off about Pedro's casting. I'll give it a chance. I think he's a good enough actor to carry it off, but like I said, we got to see the movie. Though. Now, son up. Thank you. I think this is my first time seeing you.
Yeah, I think it's for me too. I'm kind of getting more and more into this whole '60s vibe with it too. It's like I'm kind of this is getting more and more intriguing to me. The whole kind of the fact that because I don't think Marvel they did Captain Marvel in '95, but I mean it's like that's not that far removed from the time that came at it. It's like the biggest joke they can make with that was like internet and like Blockbuster and all that. Like the only time they've done like anything like really in like a big far removed period setting was probably like Captain America: The First Avenger. So, and that was in the '40s. So the '60s thing, it's like okay, I'm kind of on board for this now after seeing this. Not that I wasn't before, but it's really kind of pulled me in now after this new trailer.
I have not seen War. I got your email. I meant to email you back, Larry. I have not seen Warfare. I might end up having to see that on streaming. Like Sinners for me is a top-notch movie that I've been trying to see, and I'm having to squeeze it in tomorrow. I do want to see it though because I've heard good things about it, and it's a realistic war movie.
Yeah, Film Junkie. He saw Warfare and he's seen Sinners, and he was pretty enthusiastic about both of them.
Okay. Well, I mean, I haven't heard a bad thing about Sinners, and I'm going to go see it tomorrow. Warfare is one I'm going to try to see before the end of the weekend. Possibly, an early day, but it's going to be tough for me. But it is on my list, Larry. Thank you for the support there. Okay, let's see. Well, the movie has no humor, mostly good. All right. I'm just making sure that right. So Warfare.
Yeah, we got Larry's super chat here. It's like Alex Garland, the co-director, who's the veteran, who's telling his story. We're like, you think Private Ryan was realistic? That's Hollywood.
Well, Art Garland also did Civil War too, and that movie was pure camel shit as far as reality goes and things like that goes.
What's realistic in this in terms of like putting you in the situation that's going on? But the thing about it, that's also a hypothetical. That's also like a what if kind of thing. And
it is. Except that most of that shit would never happen, and there are reasons why it never happens. I thought the movie was just a little bit over the top for me, but he's done other movies.
And Warfare, that's based on the Battle of Ramadi. For those of you who weren't based on a true story thing.
I know some guys who were infantry during that battle.
Oh, really? And that was 06. That was like right before the surge.
Yeah, it crossed over into the surge. All right, here we go. All right.
We're playing the trailer? Alrighty. And by the way, was there any did we get any like hint or like indication there was gonna be? Because this is kind of like
I heard there was a rumor. There was a rumor that
Yeah,
they might release the trailer.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about that. So this kind of took me by surprise when I saw it drop today.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, when it comes to the marketing for Fantastic Four and Superman, I'm not even going to get into it tonight. But here I am, a day before, what's supposed to be Superman Day, which is and I got a Fantastic Four trailer, so it's kind of hilarious. But hey, here we go.
Wow, folks, we all know the story. 4 brave astronauts head up into space and come back forever changed.
This car?
Our city, our planet, owe a debt to these intrepid souls. And while we can never repay them, we can certainly celebrate them.
Thank you, Fantastic Four. Thank you.
Thank you, Fantastic Four!
Please welcome the Fantastic Four.
Herbie, how's that sauce looking? Okay. That is fantastic.
You're late.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? You're late for dinner.
Yes, we are.
You late?
I just said that.
Are you pregnant?
What? You're gonna be the best mom in the world. And you are gonna be the best dad. Just kidding. You are out of your depth. We are gonna be the best uncles ever.
We can do this. Nothing's going to change.
Are you the protectors of this world?
Yes, we are.
Your planet is now marked for death.
Getting another Human Torch Silver Surfer chase. This is what that mind might flashback to here.
I stretched the bounds of space, and they hurt.
Are we safe?
I don't know. There's not enough time.
I'm not giving up.
There we go.
We will face this together.
No more pink cloud.
We will fight it together. As a family. Has to be us.
We will protect you.
Look at that. Look at that shit right there with Galactus.
Let's stop this. And I got the other one fired up. We'll talk a little bit about I saw that trailer. I loved it. I love the feel of it. I have read Coming of Galactus. It's literally an annual ritual for me. That's another thing we're going to cover along with, because those are the two stories that are being used here. If you have not read Earth X, really get your hands on it. I got it at the store, and you can get it at any Barnes and Noble. You can get it off of Amazon. You can get it in a trade paperback. That is an important story for it. That world-ending feel that those books have when Galactus is coming is how I felt when I was watching that. How everybody is looking to them, because in 1961, 1962, when Fantastic, well, actually I forgot what year it was, but Fantastic Four was 48, 49, 50. They'd only been around about 4 years at the time, and really it was them. They were the preeminent team. So seeing that, the world looked to them, seeing that it's Galactus, the Silver Surfer coming down, and your planet's been marked for that. That's exactly how he did it in the comic books. That battle, the reason why most of the movies, the movies that have done it, or the movie that has done it, that pursuit with Johnny Storm, because that's what happens in the comics, because he's the only one that can pursue the Silver Surfer. I mean, he thinks he can, but he really can't. So they capture all the elements of the coming of Galactus, And then you kind of saw Galactus. Obviously, you see his feet there, but you also see him when Reed Richards is stretching. That's him behind the building, knocking the building over with his leg. So they did not show Galactus' face yet. Obviously, they showed it in that one trailer that we saw, and then I saw it at Comic-Con. So I am heavily looking forward to this movie. This trailer just inched me forward to my excitement for this movie. The fact that we're getting it and we're getting it in the MCU setting so that it connects, it's supported. I am, because I can't say more good things about it. It continues to give you, that's a trailer, by the way. That's a trailer. Your premise is there. Your primary villain. There's dialogue, not home, Crypto, take me home. That's a teaser. And that's not footage. That's a trailer. So we know the premise of this movie for the most part. I do think Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in this movie. I think he is going to be the cause of the collapse of their universe. And that's what's going to lead over into all these other things that we're going to be going to. I love the trailer. I love the sound score. I love the retro look to it. They did everything from the vehicles, the Beetle, the Volkswagen Beetle there, the dressing, the wardrobe that they've done. I like I said, I am obviously I'm biased because this is a movie I've been looking forward to for years. It's my most anticipated movie of this year by far. It's not even close. There's not another movie that's within miles of my anticipation of this. Like I said, when we did our top 10, this was number 1. I had Thunderbolts, I think number 3 or 4. Sinners was up there. And then so yeah, this trailer they already had me at the concept trailer we saw at Comic-Con. This one just did it, push me over. They don't really need to do anything else for me. What did you think of it, Brad?
Yeah, like I said, again, I'm really, that was the big
All right,
thing. That really,
hold on, stop. My apologies. All right, I'm only going to bring up a few of your comments forth because I know you're trying to troll me, and it's too late, and I don't have a lot of time. That was not a trailer. That footage is not a trailer. Footage is footage. A teaser is a teaser, and a trailer. And I've explained. I actually spent my own oxygen and my own time to explain to you the difference. I'm sorry you didn't pick it up. I don't know what I could do for you at that point. Go ahead, Brad. Sorry.
Yeah, so like I said, the 60s vibe really kind of jumped out at me the most out of this trailer, more so than any of the marketing support. Actually, I'm kind of latching onto that now, and yeah, Galactus really. I mean, he's not a pink cloud anymore, so that's obviously an upgrade. But I'm looking forward to seeing more with Galactus, and this is a pretty good appetizer for that. Silver Surfer looked fine to me. It's like I didn't really like. I'm not really feeling like what the kind of the beef is regarding Silver Surfer at the moment. So, I mean, people are gonna have to explain that to me. I mean, Silver Surfer looked pretty good. I had a little bit of a flashback to the Human Torch and Silver Surfer chase in Rise of Silver Surfer, which I'm not a big fan of that movie. I don't think we technically have any good Fantastic Four movies as of yet, but
the first one was great. And
that chase is that's a real standout for me in Rise of Silver Surfer.
And the first Fantastic Four movie was okay for me, as long as people don't try to look back through it through MCU goggles. That first Fantastic Four movie was actually a success. The second one kind of tailed off. It was on the right road, and then it was a letdown at the end. So those first two, for their time, were fine. We didn't know we were going into the MCU either.
Yeah, and again, otherwise, as I've said before on the show, it's like I've never, the Fantastic Four, they've just never been like my team or my group of heroes as far as DC or Marvel characters go. So it's like I'm always kind of gone to the angle with Fantastic Four, kind of a little bit, maybe not indifferent is the right word, but I'm more kind of. That's where I'm a little bit more like a general audience member as far as like Marvel characters is with the Fantastic Four, because again, they're just not my group that I've been terribly enamored with. But this is looking promising. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what we get with Fantastic Four got up pretty soon here. So yeah, this was a really good step as far as marketing this next one.
They have done, in my opinion, I know a lot of hired. Like I was watching Campy today. He's like, it's missing something. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck he was watching. All due respect. It had everything I needed to see. But, they had been doing this for the last year, though. They have been giving you, what you needed to see throughout. The only thing that they have not shown outright is all Galactus in his entirety. But they're not going to be able to get away from that because they're going to sell Galactus toys. So eventually, Galactus is going to be leaked far before the movie. All right, let's see. Franklin Richards. Franklin Richards, one of the most powerful. In fact, on the scale of alpha mutants, he is literally the most powerful mutant. He is immensely powerful. He in one storyline where the Celestials killed Galactus, he resurrected Galactus and made Galactus his herald. That's how powerful he is. The Celestials see him as a threat. That's how powerful he can become. All right, let's go into Thunderbolts.
Did we get a trailer today too?
Oh, we got it we got it probably the day before.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I didn't get a chance to cover it.
I saw this float around, but I was like, did we get one for this too today? Because it's like,
yeah,
man, a lot of trailers today would have taken me by surprise.
Yeah, might as well get demonetized all at once.
What's doubling demonetized? We're calling it William, getting Williamed.
Now, being bratted. You're the only one that's gotten us taken off the air.
No, that was Netflix on Rebel Moon, and that was like, that was anybody's fault.
There is no higher calling. Your sister understood something about that.
I should have come back for you.
No. That's just a fairy tale.
Now, this music is really going to get us taken down.
Kind of strange that it's all over now. No one's coming to save the day.
I think we are. We can be the ones that are coming.
But you have the wrong people. We have all done bad things.
Look, I've been where you are. The past doesn't go away. So you can either live with it forever, or you can do something about it.
I am the void. Look what you unleashed. You can't outrun the emptiness.
We can't do this. No one here is a hero.
We all have things that we regret.
But I have so many.
Lena, when I look at you, I don't see your mistakes. That's why we need each other.
We can't stop him alone. No one can. But we can find a way. Together.
Marvel Studios Thunderbolts.
Under pressure.
All right, now when it comes to films, I wasn't when I first heard of the idea. I'm like, all right, whatever. Thunderbolts.
There were some kind of Thunderbolt squad, huh?
I have a feeling I'm going to end up loving this movie because of the way it's structured, the way everything I've seen from it, going back from Comic-Con all the way till now, has made this, and then that's why it was so high up on my most anticipated movies. I have a feeling I'm going to love this movie more than I loved either Suicide Squad, and I liked both Suicide Squads. This one has a little bit more to it. It's not just the premise is a little bit more complex because we've seen these characters come along in different things, and we've grown with them. I understand and feel John Walker's plight. And when he's looking at that cell phone picture of a fallen hero, and it's almost the same premise, the same reason why I ended up liking Peacemaker is because the way the story was told from these people's points of view, they built these lives up thinking that they were doing something special, that they were part of something special, and they now reflect on their lives, and they don't like where they're at. And like you said, everyone has the past. You can either stay with it forever. And this is the same kind of thing that made me like Peacemaker, especially from episode 4 on, is these people are awful. They're awful, but they didn't necessarily start out that way. They started out trying to be other things, and this is how things turned out. And none of them are happy with that. So stories like that are really cool. I like all these characters. They've taken the best characters, even some of them that are movies that I did not especially like. They took the best things from those movies. I did not like Black Widow, but the best things in Black Widow are in this movie. Ant-Man and the Wasp, even if you didn't like Ant-Man and the Wasp, I still was intrigued by Ghost. I didn't think we got enough of her. I did like Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I love Wyatt Russell as this character. All these characters I followed through, when I was a kid, and the way that they've handled Wyatt Russell in the U.S. agent, and and his Pike captain, and the little time that they spent on it, I love him as this character. So, and David Harbour, there's been nothing in lately that he has not been in, or that he's been in that I didn't like. Stranger Things, I mean, if you watch the show, I did in great length, you know how I feel about that show. He's great as Hopper. So I can't, this is another movie, and I always love when the movies come out on Free Comic Book Day or Free Comic Book Day weekend, because that means I get to take a bunch of people with me to go see it. And, I can't wait for this one. So there's 2 trailers today that came out, and of movies that just made me, I'm going to go see it. I was already in on Fantastic Four, but now I'm really in. Thunderbolts, I was already in, but this is like, there's no going back now. I can't wait for this movie. These 2 movies will be first day watches for me, if not before. What did you think about Thunderbolts trailer, Brad?
Yeah, again, it's not quite the same as the Fantastic Four, but again, it's not what I said. We're going into this. I've been just very lukewarm about it, but the marketing's actually been pretty promising. I found it. And where's this one that Aaron left? The soundtrack. If nothing else, I think the soundtrack is probably going to
Queen and David Bowie.
Yeah, well, what was the last one they had? They had a couple now. It's like they're putting like some alt rock hits and things like that. It's like you're selling me on the soundtrack alone, so that's something. And like you said, I wasn't too big on Black Widow myself, but it's like, but this has like the best. And same with the
two best characters out of Black Widow are here.
Yeah, exactly, and same with like a lot of the Disney Plus shows that sort. It pulls from like different Marvel movies or shows I wasn't too crazy about, but it's pulling the best things out of them and putting them into this. So it's like,
and like I said, Falcon and Winter Soldier is one of my favorite MCU shows. One of my favorite comic book shows. Period. So I'm glad to see more of John Walker. I love Della Fontaine. I love with Lorraine playing.
Yeah. And Florence Pugh. Well, just I just like her, in general. I
didn't watch enough of her in Seinfeld because I could only make it to about 39 minutes of that show, and I none of the jokes weren't funny. The show wasn't funny. I've seen scenes from it.
Broke Seinfeld curse. So
I don't think I've laughed at all. But hey, the reason why I sort of agree with this here a little bit. Son off is because the difference between the James Gunn Suicide Squad is most of those characters were fodder. They were thrown away. They weren't characters. They were characters that appeared in that movie for the most part. And the ones that they had already had, they didn't really, it was Rick Flag and it was Harley Quinn and a couple other characters. But everybody else either got killed off if they returned, or the brand new ones got killed off like almost immediately, like literally during the opening credits. So you really didn't get that much time, not only in that movie, but these characters, when it comes to this show, they have been built up over the course of movies and other movies and series. So I've had more time with these characters than I've had with some of the characters, and more depth in these characters. I like James Gunn's Suicide Squad, but I think I'm going to love this even more because of the journey I've been on with these characters. I've been rooting for these characters even in some of the shows that are that weren't the best ones. The Void is in the trailer. Bob is hiding the back of the poster. Yeah, that's gonna. The Void is an immensely powerful character. He can be defeated though, and he's been defeated. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they do it. I don't think we're gonna see the Red Hulk, but I don't know.
Yeah. By the way, a little bit off topic, but this scene floating around on Twitter from disgusting film. And
start out seeing something floating around Twitter.
Yeah.
That's like something circling the drain that you're about to flush, but be careful.
Well, it's and I think it's actually, this must be the scene it's the scene they were filming when they from that Tom Cruise plane video where he's like holding on to the plane that was shown at CinemaCon and saying, "Hey, that's a great summer," and then the plane banks And I was actually on the phone with Ashley at the time. We were just kind of shooting the shit, and I watched that. I'm watching it as I'm talking to her. Like as I see that, holy shit! Say that out. She heard my real time reaction. So I think this is actually a clip. This is the scene that was being filmed from that. It's from Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning. And, it reads Tom Cruise hanging off a biplane 8,000 feet in the air with 140-mile winds for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, because Tom Cruise, as we all know, is absolutely out of his mind in the best way possible. So, yeah, that's one I look. Every Mission Impossible, it's like it has a similar kind of like Mission Impossible. It's kind of doing a similar thing now to what Fast and Furious does, where it's like everyone is like trying to escalate past the other one, but the difference is Fast and Furious is escalating in terms of just being ridiculous, and Mission Impossible is escalating in terms of I don't know what's the right word, like Tom Cruise. It's Jackie Chan's stunt work insanity. So yeah,
I don't watch a lot of Jackie Chan, so that comparison is lost on me. Sounds like someone is.
That's a tragedy, man.
Never appealed to me. Okay.
Where's the buzzer? Where's that buzzer?
Sounds like someone is butthurt. I don't know if this was meant towards me, Ateka, but I'm gonna read it. Sounds like someone is butthurt that The Penguin is actually a good show. Unlike Nevermind, The Penguin got nominations and won. Okay, so are you talking to me, Ateka, or are you talking to someone else in the chat? Let me know if that was meant for me, because I don't.
I think it's for somebody else. I don't think it's for you.
Okay. What's the deal with William not liking Seinfeld? I didn't think it was. Listen, I'm not big into comedy at all. Within the mid '90s, I was closer to it than at any other time, and I just didn't think the show was funny. It was literally a show about nothing, and I thought it was dumb. But have you seen In Living Color sketch of Jim Carrey as Jerry? It's gold. It's been 30 years ago. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Thank you for the $5 super chat, man.
Well, you're going to start us on the conversation like Jim Carrey's career. We're like,
no, we don't have the time tonight because I got to get up super early. Or early for me. No. I think we did it. I don't care about the new one. We'll do it maybe some other time. Maybe we'll do it in the weekend. I'm already getting demonetized for things I actually care about. So I don't feel like doing 28. I thought Curb Enthusiasm was dumb too. It's not my genre. It's like asking me to love some country music songs. It's just not for me. Oh, I got you. You're talking about the coach. Yeah, the coach. Yeah, I don't know why he said that stuff. Both of them have great shows that are worthy of Emmys. No, it's not a hater. I'm just not into it. Listen, I'm sorry. I don't care about Hong Kong kung fu stuff. I don't care about melodramas. I don't care about rom-coms. I don't care about coming of age. I don't care. I don't. Those are repellent to me.
Yeah, all those other ones are okay, but the first one, no, that's all we get.
No, because that's a preference. I don't. If there's martial arts in the movie, it's not going to stop me from seeing it. I'm not paying money for a martial arts movie. That's just not me. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not. It's not me. It's just not where I want to spend my time or money. That's all. It's not hating. I just it's like I'm pretty sure there's things out there you guys don't like that you don't give, that you don't prioritize in your time. So why would you expect me to? Why would you expect me to watch sitcoms and stuff when clearly it's not a genre that does it for me? I'm not doing 28. The reason I don't want to do it tonight is because we're about to end the show and I don't feel like if I'm not going to talk about it, I'm not going to go see 28 trailers. I got tired of the 28 things after the first one and I was done. And I'm tired of zombie movies, So we'll do that when somebody can talk about it and we can talk about it. Right now we're about to wrap up the show. Not tonight. Let's do that. Like I said, I'm literally about to wrap the show. It's actually an hour and 10. I only meant to be on for about 45 minutes. Let's see. All right, that's where I'm going to wrap it up. All right, guys, tomorrow I will probably not be on the air. I don't know if I'm going to be on the air even on Film Junkie because I'm going to try to go to this movie, and I'm probably going to be super tired. But we'll see how it goes. See how I feel tomorrow. We're going to wrap up the show here because, like I said, I got to be out of here. I got to literally be heading towards Westgate at 8:00. So that's sacrilege for me, like I said before. That's like 7.5 hours for you too. So yeah. So
we just gotta get to bed. So
All right, guys, we will talk on Saturday. We will talk more than you ever probably wanted to hear from me on Saturday, because we're going to have hours and hours of WrestleMania coverage, and then we'll do our overnight live show. So please like, subscribe, spread the word, and we will see you this weekend.
There you guys.